friends, welcome back to my channel, and if you're new and it's your first time clicking on one of my videos, welcome. My name's Heather. Today I'm doing a very fun spring-inspired Disney movie tag created by my wonderful friend Nina over at Wrestling with Disney. I'm going to be leaving her channel as well as all of the prompts below if you would like to do this tag. If you do not have a channel, then that's okay. Please play along in the comments below and make sure to stay tuned to the end of this video because I'm going to tag a few people to do this as well. The very first prompt is a movie that had a rough start but ends beautifully, just as spring starts out with winter and ends in summer. But to me that's such a hard concept because I love winter more than summer, so I'm like, oh, it was hard for me to get that out. But I totally get it. Everyone gets cooped up in the winter and they're ready to just get out and break out and do all of the fun summer things, so I get it. I think it's a wonderful prompt. So a movie that had a rough start but ends beautifully. Oh my gosh. There's quite a few because, you know, sometimes the Disney movies, you know, they just get you in the feels in the beginning. I've recently compared Disney movies to Nicholas Sparks books because, you know, there's always that gut-wrenching situation and then, you know, we get our happy ending. But still, I mean, there's a lot of Disney movies like that. So, a rough start. I mean, you could use this as a sad start, or you could use it as like you didn't really like the beginning of it, but you liked it at the end. So I'm going to go with a sad start, I guess. And for me, that is the Up movie. It ends up beautifully, but oh my gosh. I mean, it starts out really cute, but watching Ellie walk up that hill and then seeing her in the hospital bed and then the little balloon floating by and like, that's not even I mean, the whole beginning is just so rough, you know, with child loss and like, oh my gosh, like they really went for it with this one to get you in the feels. So I'm gonna go with Up because one of my favorite moments at the end of the movie is when Carl shows up for Russell at the end of the movie. That just, oh, it's so beautiful. They both filled a hole in each other's heart, and like, who couldn't love that? Like, that just was such a high note, even though it was just like, oh, I cried there too, but it was such a high note for that movie to end on. I loved every bit of it, so it was absolutely the perfect answer for this prompt in my opinion. I apologize in advance for looking down. I'm gonna have to read all of these prompts because it's a lot to remember. So I'm gonna go ahead with the next one. A new beginning, your favorite Disney movie series to watch from the beginning. And oh, I think I'm gonna have to go with Toy Story because that is one series of movies that I love watching over and over, and I don't think I could get tired of watching that series. Well, with the exception of 4, and we're just gonna leave that over here, I'm not gonna talk about it. 2 and 3 are my favorites. 2 is ultimately my favorite, I believe, but I just love it. I love it from the beginning where you just see all of these friendships developed and they kind of adapt to each other with different circumstances going on, and I just think it grows stronger and stronger throughout that entire series of films, and I would never tire of watching that one over and over. So, and we have done that. We've had Toy Story movie marathons here before and we love it. So I think that is probably the best one for me to answer with for that one. Okay, time to get back outside. A movie that helps you appreciate the beauty of the outdoors. Ooh. You know what? Let's just go with Tangled. I didn't see that one coming. But let's go with Tangled because I just love when you're seeing her in the tower and you see all the beautiful greenery and the flowers, and then when she's pulling the flowers for her hair, it looks absolutely stunning. And then sitting in the middle of this little lake with all of the lanterns, I mean, that's absolutely gorgeous. So going with Tangled. Spring Fever, a movie you're sick of hearing about. Oh. Am I a bad person? Am I a bad person if I say I'm gonna have to say Hercules. Hear me out. I do love the movie, but I just think it gets so much attention, and it's good, but it's not great in my opinion. So it is just my opinion. You don't have to be mad at me. But I just feel like it goes in phases where people are like super hyped about one thing and then they leave it and then they go for the next hype of something, and I just feel like the hype of that one has been so long, and there are other Disney movies that are far superior and they don't get as much love. So I said it. Spring Musical, one of your favorite Disney musicals. I absolutely love all of the High School Musical movies, but hands down the second one has my heart forever and always. And I kind of am snooty like Sharpay, and my husband would absolutely tell you that. Oh my goodness, I just told on myself. Anyway, I'm kind of Sharpay-ish, where yeah, we're just gonna leave that alone. How did you feel about the High School Musical movies? I still love them. I think they're very good. I will definitely watch those, and I will tell you a little secret that not a lot of people know. Like Damon knows this, and he's about the only one who knows. Do you remember when American Idol like first launched years ago? Like OG, very first season of American Idol, when that was against Kelly and Justin. Do you remember when they made that Teen Beach musical movie? The voice from Princess and the Frog, she also was in that movie. That movie from Justin to Kelly is one of my guilty pleasures. I still love that movie so much. So I'm kind of nerdy, I'm kind of a corny person, but I can't help it. I really do. I love that movie. I know it's not Disney, but I'm just telling you, like, all of those movies like that truly are so much fun to watch. That is centered around spring break, so it's a lot of fun too. And it just, High School Musical just reminded me of that, where they're on the summer break, and it's just so much fun to watch those kind of movies. Mother's Day, a movie that makes you think of motherhood or your mother, etc. I was just talking about this backstage from the live the other night, how much, oh my goodness, how much that Finding Dory touched my heart as a mother of a special needs person, how her parents worked tirelessly and was constantly on reminder mode and always had this repetitive speech of teaching her the things that were going to keep her safe, and just doing everything they could, going above and beyond to make sure that she was learning and that she was safe, and working around her disability for her to be able to do the things that she couldn't. And I relate to that so very much. That conversation that is so fresh in my mind right now. So it made me think about me being a mother, but a movie that reminds me of my mom, just because it's her favorite, would have to be The Country Bears. She loves that movie, so I didn't like The Country Bears years ago. I'm like, oh, this is so lame. I don't want to be here. I'm not a huge country music fan. And I didn't want any part of it, really. But as I grew older, I loved it so much. And then Michaela's love for it, it just kind of collided into this love fest of The Country Bears. So that reminds me of her as well. So there, you got two answers. You got Finding Dory and you got The Country Bears. The very last prompt is Spring Aesthetic, a movie that gives you the vibes of spring. For me, that has to be Snow White. I have always loved Snow White, but in the past year, my love for Snow White has just skyrocketed. I love her so much. I love that entire movie. I love the dwarfs. I love everything about that movie. It's just so great. I think for this prompt, I just think that all of the forest and this beautiful cottage and all of the flowers and gooseberry pie. My grandmother had a gooseberry bush where she lived, and that was so fun to go to her house and pick all of these gooseberries, but she did make gooseberry pie. So I don't know, just all of those wonderful things of summer and spring just are very noticeable in Snow White. I love all of the animals and everything, so that just feels very springy to me. And who doesn't love a beautiful little cottage in the woods? So that is it. That is going to be my answers for this tag. Thank you so much, Nina, for tagging me, and thank you for creating such a wonderful, fun, and new tag. I always love doing these, so it was so much fun to get to do this. So now it is time for me to tag a few people to do this, and I'm going to be tagging Nicole at Irresistible Magic. I'm going to be tagging Mary and Tony from the Siskateers, and I'm going to be tagging Taryn from Twinklebell Taryn. You all will have fun doing this tag, and again, if you don't have a channel, make sure to play along in the comments below. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.